It is a very overcast and rainy day today here in Statesville, North Carolina, but nonetheless, I'm going to share with you a story about a man by the name of Tom Dula and the significance to Tom Dula in Statesville. He was the last man to be sentenced to hanging here for the murder of Laura Foster. As I stand here in front of this very awesome looking old courthouse, which this was not where Tom was tried, but I just like the front. I love the front fascia of this courthouse. It is so epic. I think this courthouse was built around about 1899. The whole Tom Dula thing took place in the 1860s. That courthouse, I think, was more up into the center part of town. I kind of walk up there to kind of show you where somebody told me about where it stood. But today, this courthouse here is the Iredell County Government Center. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitchhiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today, as always. Really looking forward to sharing a little Tom Dula story with you today. If you are a fan of murder mystery, love triangles, you're in the right spot, because this story can get confusing, because a lot of folks, local folks here in Iredell County, Wilkesboro area, Wilkes County, everybody has their version, and I'm going to give you one of mine today. And I'm not a historian by any means, but I heard this story when I was growing up, and it was always pretty fascinating. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get started. So to give you a little bit of backstory about Mr. Tom Dula, he was born in Wilkes County in 1844 to a poor Appalachian family. He was one of 3 brothers and had 1 sister. As Tom grew up, he became friends with the members of the Foster family, including cousins Ann and Laura. So Tom's life actually took a dramatic turn when he became romantically involved with Ann Foster. So this is where the story gets complicated. Ann had married an older man by the name of James Milton in 1859, before the Civil War. So 3 months shy of his 18th birthday, Tom enlisted into the Confederate Army. He was captured but later released in April of 1865. So after the war, Tom resumed his relationship with Ann Milton, formerly Ann Foster. However, then he began a romantic relationship with Ann's cousin Laura Foster, leading to a very complex love triangle. So if 2 ladies wasn't enough, Tom then was said to have an affair with another one of Ann's cousins, Pauline Foster. At this point, Tom contracted syphilis. Tom, you dog, you was partying like a rock star back then, wasn't you, boy? So at this point of the story, it is fair to say that most likely Pauline did give him syphilis. She was, as my grandmother would say, a little loose. She would get around a little bit prior to ever meeting Tom, and then Tom being who he was and how much he loved women, it just kind of happened. But they were all supposedly went to the doctor and treated for this. But when he found out he had syphilis, some people say that he reported him saying that whoever gave me syphilis or whoever gave me the pox, I'm going to kill him. On May 25th, 1866, Laura Foster left her home on her father's horse to go meet Tom, never to be seen again. Some people say that Laura was pregnant with Tom Dula's baby, and they had decided to elope. Many people circulated a story that Ann Melton had something to do with Laura's disappearance because of jealousy. So Laura's decomposed body was found in a shallow grave with a stab wound in the chest. The gruesome murder and the love triangle fueled rumors and captured public attention as far away as New York City. So Tom's trial was led by former North Carolina Governor Zebulon Vance, who believed in Tom's innocence and had the hearing moved from Wilkesboro to Statesville to ensure him a fair trial. However, Tom was convicted and hanged on May 1st, 1868. As Dula stood in the gallows, he said, "Gentlemen, I did not harm a hair on that lady's head." All right, so I made my way up here to the center of Statesville. This here is called the Town Square area. And when I done a little research online and I was asking where the old courthouse was located, where Tom Dula was tried, this is the kind of the location, roundabout location where it said it was located at. But I have a hard time believing a courthouse would have been set in the square of town. That just don't make no sense to me. But a while back, I did ask somebody who's somewhat of a historian here in Statesville, And they told me they thought the old courthouse was more around Cooper Street, East Broad Street. So let's walk down there real quick. I'm going to show you kind of roundabout area where maybe the courthouse would have stood. Okay, so right here I'm looking at the corner of Cooper Street and East Broad Street, and this right here is where I was told that the old courthouse where Tom would have been tried would have been right here in this area. And the reason I wanted to show you that, I thought it was kind of an important part of the story, because you know, once he's sentenced to go to the gallows, he was actually taken on like a carriage, or like a flatbed carriage type of a thing, pulled by horses, obviously back in that time period. And they made their way over to what is now known as Depot Hill. And that is where the gallows was located. And I don't know exactly how far that is from here. I would say a half a mile away, maybe, give or take. But they would have went right up through town and then went down Center Street, and they would have passed the Sharp House. And the Sharp House is where they said there was a lot of people standing out in front of the Sharp House back then, and they was watching him ride by, and he didn't act very scared or anything like that, because the man was actually playing a fiddle on his way to the gallows. He was actually like playing music. All right, as the drizzle is starting to pick up a little bit, unfortunately, I made my way over here to the corner of Sharp Street and South Center Street. So Tom would have been tried at the courthouse up here, you know, in the South Center, in the square area of Broad Street, North Center Street. We're on South Center now. It extends down this hill a ways. As you can see, we go down the hill, and off in the distance, once you get to the bottom of the hill, you obviously start going up a hill, and that is the Depot Hill area, and that is where the gallows were at that time. That's where Tom would have been hung. We are going to go up there to that area, and I'm going to show you around about where the gallows, where I think they used to be at that time period. But the reason I wanted to bring you down here to the Sharp House is because in the story, when you're reading about that day where he was on his way to the gallows, horseback on like a flat back like carriage or something, he was indeed playing a fiddle, and people gathered right here in front of the Sharp House to watch him ride by right here on South Center Street. Now, if you're wondering what's the significance of this house, this is one of the oldest houses in Statesville. They actually have a placard right out here, and this house is named after the Silas Alexander Sharp. So this is dedicated to the memory of Silas A. Sharp, a prominent industrialist and political leader here in Statesville throughout the second half of the 19th century. He was sworn as the first mayor of the city of Statesville on March 25th. 1867. The home of Silas A. Sharp remains here as one of the oldest houses in Statesville, and has been rightfully placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So all that being said, we know what happened here, so let's move on a little bit further down the hill, up the hill to Depot Hill, and I'm going to show you about the area where the gallows would have been, where Tom met his fate that day. All right, I have made my way up here to Depot Hill. As you see, there's a lot of Statesville police officers here. This is their overflow parking. This field right here that I'm standing in is where the gallows would have been. This is Depot Hill. This is where they would have hung Tom Dula, right here in this area. Nobody knows exactly right on point. Some people says it's like right here in this vicinity, and other people says it's a little bit further over in that direction. But all in all, this is roundabout pretty close to where it would have been. Not saying it's dead on, but this is the vicinity. Give or take 100 yards or 80 yards either direction. This is about where he would have hung. It's kind of a sad thing, like when he finally made it up here to the gallows, and he's standing and he's fixing to be hung. He said, a lot of people says that he said the words as, "Gentlemen, I did not hurt or harm one hair on that woman's head." Just thought I would throw that out there. And that really brings you to a whole nother thing. Several years after his death, after he was hung here in Statesville, Ann Melton, the woman that kind of started this whole love thing with him, who was, you know, at one time was named Ann Foster before she got married, she was on her deathbed, and supposedly she admitted to killing Laura Foster and asked Tom to help get rid of the body. Now, at the same time she admitted all that, she was she was losing her mind. She was really sick. She was dying. And also, she also claimed to see black cats running around a room, and she could smell bacon frying. So just take that with a grain of salt. All that being said, now that will pretty much wrap up everything here in Statesville. Now we're going to go check out some grave sites over in Wilkes County, which is for me about a 45-minute drive from right here where I stand. We're going to go check out Laura Foster's grave. Don't know how close I can get to it because I think her grave is actually on private property in a field. But I can zoom in to kind of give you a roundabout area like where her grave is. I think it's actually got like wood posts and stuff around it so you can see it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get very close to it today, but I'll at least show you where she lays to rest right now. And then we will end our vlog by going to Tom's grave, which that is an adventure. It is off the road, kind of up a hill in a grown-up woodsy area. It is not in any kind of cemetery, I can promise you that. They buried him kind of just up in the woods. At that time, it probably wasn't woods, it was probably farmland, but you can't see it from the road, but I've been there before. I will definitely take you to it and let you see his grave. It's kind of sad because his gravestone, last time I was there, was in really bad shape. So as you can imagine, out in the woods like that and people coming up there, chipping pieces off of it, taking it with them. Absurd, right? Why would you do that? Why would you even want to just take something like that or vandalize it? But it does happen. So all that being said, this would be quick for you. We will be there in no time. But for me, I got a little drive to do. So I will see you momentarily. Welcome to Caldwell County. It's raining. A little bit harder here than it was in Statesville, that's for sure. That's why you see me with my umbrella right now, to protect my camera mainly. Rain really don't bother me much, but before we try to get a view of her grave from a distance, because she's actually buried across the road in that field. So it is private property. I don't really, if I had permission, I have no problem going over there, but I do not like trespassing. So we're just going to stay over here for now. I want to show you this little plaque right here they have. It says Laura Foster died May 28, 1866. May she rest in peace. It says on the 28th of May, 1866, Laura Foster, a beautiful but frail girl, was decoyed from her father's house at German Hill in Caldwell County to a place in Wilkes County and was murdered. Right there is his name, Tom Dula or Tom Dula. See, everybody kind of says it two different ways. They even got to print his name twice. Was later hanged for the murder. She was buried on the bank of the Yadkin River here on the farm of John Walter Winkler. Laura's grave is across the road, surrounded by the whitewashed locust fence. The land for this park is provided by John Christian Bernhardt. This historical marker is provided by Woodmen of the World Lodge 95, Lenoir, North Carolina, back in 1991. So let's walk over here by the road, and I'm going to see if I can show you the little white picket fence they're talking about to kind of spot out where her grave is. Man, I tell you, the clouds up there on that mountaintop are low. It is so rainy and cool today, misty. Now this is the field where Laura Foster has laid the rest. As you can see, there's still cows out there grazing. So it's not like it's an abandoned field or anything. But right over here to the left along the creek or the riverbed, right there, where you see that like white picket fence, that's her grave. Ain't that wild? I mean, right there, she was laid to rest. That's the spot. Laura Foster's grave right here off of Highway 268 in Caldwell County. Really easy to miss when you're driving by, especially if you're driving from this direction. That's the way you go to Wilkesboro. You know, you have to go from there. So when you're coming from Wilkes, this direction, you know, it's easy to miss her grave site because of the trees right here along the road kind of obstructs it. And, you know, you would have to really look off to the left quick, look over your shoulder to the left to kind of see it. So, yeah. And this little driveway right here, that's where I'm parked at. That is where her little monument is, that everybody is allowed to go see that one. But, yeah, you need permission to go out here into the field to see her actual grave. Okay, so we're definitely out here in the boonies. But our next location we're going to stop at is Tom Dula's, or Tom Dula. See there? I knew it. I knew I would do it. I want to say Tom Dula, but you just can't help it. You want to say, then you end up saying Tom Dula. It happens to everybody. But we are going to make our way to Tom Dula's grave and wrap this vlog up today. Now his grave is interesting because, boy, you have to walk up into the woods, kind of on a hilltop. You can't see it from the road. There is a marker I'm going to stop and show you when we get to the road to go to his grave, because just so happened they named the road after him, so it's called Tom Dula Road. But I will show you the marker when we get there, and then we will make our way out Tom Dula Road to his actual grave site up in the boonies. It's in the boonies too, man. It's in the sticks. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it as always, gang. And let's go ahead and move in that direction. All right, I made it to my next location. This is still Highway 268 in Wilkes County now. And right here is Tom Dula Road. This is where we're going to be headed momentarily to go see his grave site. But right here before you cross over this bridge, which I think that is the Yadkin River, there is a marker up here on the side of 268 that talks about Thomas C. Dula, 1844 to 1868. Tom Dula, of popular legend and song, hanged in Statesville for the murder of Laura Foster. Grave is 1.5 miles southwest, which that's telling you it's on Tom Dula Road, and that's where we're headed now. All right, my friends, we have made it. Right down there below me is Tom Dula Road. As you can see, I'm elevated now on this little pathway right here. I'm actually parked right down there, right off the road. And this is a tough one to find. It really is. And you'll see this gate right here when you're walking down this path. That leads on to what this used to be a pasture. Because I've seen pictures of this place before, and this is like had cattle in it. But you just go straight right past that gate and make your way back to this old trail right here, and have to really watch for snakes if you're here in the summer months. Even though today I don't think it'd be a problem because it is so cold. It's like 63 degrees right now, so yeah, there shouldn't be no snakes crawling around anywhere in 63 degrees. But I will tell you this, you can see how growed up and how just a lot of vegetation tries to overtake this trail. So I'm going to keep walking a little bit. I don't have too far to walk, but I do want to pay attention where I'm walking nonetheless with snakes and everything. And I don't even think I'm going to have to use my umbrella because I am in a canopy of greenery right now. So I'll turn it back on once I make it back here to the grave itself. I'm about halfway there, or maybe a little over. But this place is in not good shape. If you come, I would highly recommend you coming in the winter months. Right down there's Tom Dula Road. It just skirts right along the road, but you'll never know it because the road's down there, so you can't see up and over the hill. As you can see how growed up this place is. I mean, it is like I'm using my umbrella to kind of feel as I walk ahead. But I just want to give you a little heads up on that. There is quite a lot of briars and all kinds of growth as we move through here closer to his grave site. All right, I have made it. I have made it through all that growth, wetness, briars, all that good stuff. Please, if you come out here, do it in the wintertime. Trust me. But right here it is, this little grove right here of greenery. Look at all this stuff. But right there is his grave. Tom Dula. It's where he's laid to rest, up here on this little hilltop, right off Tom Dula Road. Cannot see it from the road. As you can see, we're way up over the road. We're high up. This is elevated. This used to be a cow pasture over here many years ago, which is now just grown up with trees and brush thickets. But this is it. You can see how people have desecrated his grave site here, taking some of his monument or his headstone. Souvenir maybe. Some people just like vandalizing, who knows. And right here, he's got a little footstone right here. It actually says Thomas C. Dula on it. And it says Tom Dula right below that. And it says born Wilkes County, 1845. Died Iredell County, 1868. And right here is a better view of the man's headstone. So his headstone itself just says Tom Dula, or kinda. You know, the L and A is pretty much gone now. And then it says hanged May 1st, 1866 for the murder of Laura Foster. And I mean, this headstone does not deny that at all. So that kind of makes this video kind of coming to an end, I believe, when you read that. So what I want from you, love to hear from you in the comments. Everybody has their opinion about this story of Tom Dula, the murder of Laura Foster. Curious to see what you think. Do you think he's guilty? Do you think he actually did it? In my thought process, is his hands completely clean of it? I don't think so. I don't know if he did it or not, because I think he at least knew about it, right? Like, even if Ann actually did it and then asked him to help bury the body or dispose of the body, you're an accessory. You're still guilty. You knew about it. He actually vacated this area and went to Tennessee and was brought back. So that even makes me think he was guilty anyway. One way or another, he was guilty. So him being laid to rest, what happened to him could be. The right thing might have happened. Somebody guilty paid the price. That's just my thought. Not saying I'm right or anything. It's just my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion, what you thought about this. There are people who know way more about this story than I do. I just thought it was a neat story, and I want to share it with you today, and kind of show you some of the historical places that where all this took place at. That was my main goal today. You know, I'm more of a visual guy. I'm not the best speaker in the world by no means, but I like making videos for fun, and this is one. So the story of Tom Dula, Laura Foster, what do you think? Love to hear from you in the comments. All that being said, I think that is going to pretty much do it for me today, because I'm ready to get out of here, because I got a feeling, even though it's cooler temperatures and probably snakes ain't a big deal today, ticks are. Yeah, ticks. I don't like ticks. There might be a tick on my ankle right now. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I am the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. One last time. That's the Tom Dula Grave, or Tom Dula. There's actually a song, a little melody that people sang. Hang down your head, Tom Dula, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dula, poor boy, you're about to die. Something like that. All right. Y'all have a good one.